Today I'm going to teach you how to make your own card deck. Now these could be tarot cards, these could be oracle cards, these could be playing cards, inspirational cards, postcards, I don't know, anything that is a set of cards meant to be given out in a deck. I am not a magician. That didn't really work like I thought it would, but I have 10 steps for you today. So make sure to download the checklist because it's a lot of stuff to remember. But more importantly, I included my two favorite vendors, printing vendors, for creating cards. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe InDesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday, and I do unboxings on Saturday. Now I have some unboxings of cards that I have done in the past, mostly just the best self cards. I haven't really unboxed any other cards, only because I just haven't really been into cards lately. But my friend Kirsten loves these oracle cards. They are angel cards. They're called Work Your Late by Rebecca Campbell. These are probably my favorite. And, you know, cards come in all different sizes. So we're going to go through all of that today. But again, make sure to download the checklist below so you can follow along, put in your own notes, because I'm going to go over a lot of information. Now, the first thing you're going to have to think about is what type of cards you're going to make. So I said you could make tarot cards, you could make oracle cards, you could make gift cards, you could make Bloom Daily Planners. It makes these really cute cards where they say something nice on one side and then on the other side it's blank. I know, don't try to look, there's nothing on there, it's blank. But and then you could just drop them into the mail or just leave them on someone's desk just as a nice happy note. So there are so many cool, amazing things that you can do with cards. But the first step is just deciding which type of card you want to make. The second step is you're going to have to decide on a size. Now, the standard size for tarot cards or oracle cards is 3.5 by 5, and that's usually big enough where it's kind of substantial and you can get a lot of images or text on there, but not too big that it's like a big, overwhelming, like, I don't know, piece of paper, right? You don't want it that big. You still want it to fit in someone's hands so they can shuffle the cards around. Now, if you are using, I guess, like a card deck, like these smaller cards, and this is from the Self Company. These cards are about 2.5 by 3.5. They're a little closer to being square. If you are doing tarot cards, like I said, 3.5 by 5. My favorite size deck is usually a 2 by 3.5. So something just a little smaller. But again, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. That's actually not even true. I really like the 3.5 by 5, the bigger ones. I don't know why I said 2 by 3.5. This is why I am just not good with math. All right, we're done with that point. Let's go on to step number 3 that has no math in it, which is just the shape. So I think this is obvious, but just know that all cards have rounded corners. So nothing has a straight 90-degree corner like a piece of paper. That would be odd. Those really wouldn't be cards. They would kind of hurt. I don't know. Nobody likes them. Plus they would bend much easier or get wilted. Is that the right word? Wilted? I don't know. Damage. So you definitely want rounded corners, just so you know when you're doing that design. The fourth thing to think about is, do you want these glossy or do you want these matte? Because that will make a difference when you are looking for a printer. Not everyone can do both. And do you want it glossy on one side or matte on the other? Some cards have that as well. And the fifth thing you want to think about is really not something to think about. It's, do you want to do black and white versus color? Obviously, black and white is always cheaper, but I cannot imagine anything uglier than a black and white card on both sides. There would be no reason to do that at all. I'm sure there's something, maybe if you added some gold foiling to it, that could help if you have just black and white, but then your costs are going to go up anyway if you have foiling. So my recommendation is 100% always do color. The sixth thing to think about is how many cards you're going to actually put in the deck. Now, the standard cards, probably like a really nice deck is probably, I would say 44. I know I said probably a million gazillion times, but that is a good number of cards. Tarot cards are 78, and that is pretty much the standard. And then anything else, it's really up to you. Obviously, a deck of cards has, I shouldn't say obviously, I don't even know how many cards are in a deck of cards now that I think about that. This is why I should just never do math. All right, let's move on from numbers. The next one is number 7, which is a how-to guide. So sometimes people just stick an extra card in there, like how to use this deck or information about this deck, how many cards are in there, etc., how to reorder. Other people put together a little book, and this is a pamphlet. So for the Rebecca Campbell cards, the angel cards, it has a little guide and it tells you what each of those cards mean. And for the best self cards, these are just prompts. These are more like, if you're making a game like Cards Against Humanity kind of thing, it just has one card in the beginning and it just says how to use, and it is a double-sided like folded card. So it stands out a little bit from the rest of the cards. So that's another thing you're going to want to put into your card deck. Now, the 8th thing is you need to think about having a box. Nobody wants to open up a pack of cards that are put together with shrink wrap. I've seen this before. It's really tacky. I wouldn't advise it. There's no reason to do that. But otherwise, you really need to have a nice box presentation as well as something for people to store their cards in afterwards. People don't like loose leaf cards just kind of sitting around, unless, of course, they like that game 52 Pickup, which really is not that fun. So that was number 8. Number 9 is to think about the design. So there's a lot of different things to think about. You need to think about, first of all, I would always say pick a printer first. You need to pick a printer because you need to know what their limitations are. And most importantly, they're going to tell you the size of their bleed. So some people need 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 2 inches. I don't know. It really depends on how their printer is set up and their press. And you're also going to want to see samples to see if you like that glossy versus that matte look that they can do. You'll also need to know whether or not they can print in CMYK or Pantone colors, because that's going to make a difference when you are doing your design. Now, in the design of a card, typically there is one design for the back throughout. Like, they're all uniform. That's how you know that they are a deck and they belong together. The other side obviously has all the different stuff. So each card is different on the other side. So just remember, you have to do 2 designs, one for the back that's going to be used all throughout, and then another design for the front. Usually when you send this to the printer, because I know that's going to be your next question, these are 2 separate files. So one file, you'll have 3 files actually. You'll have one file that just says the back of the card. You'll have another file that has all of the fronts of your cards, each as a separate page inside of your InDesign file or PDF, or however they like to take that file for printing. And then you'll have a third file, which is your guidebook or your how-to, and that is totally separate from the other 2 files. So those are all the things that you need to send in your design files to the printer. And that's why I always say to look for a printer first, because some of them do have limitations. Now, the 10th thing to think about is thickness. So how thick do you want these cards? Definitely business card, possibly more. I am not sure how to do the measurements for other countries, but usually if it's the US, you'll just say you want a 14-point card. If it, I believe if you're in Europe, you'll just say you want anywhere from 300 to 350 GSM. And as far as, and I did write this down so I wouldn't forget, if you're going to print these at home on your own, I would use at least 120 cardstock. However, remember, once you get that thicker cardstock, it is much more difficult to put it through your printer. So definitely test that out before you go out and buy those. You might just be better off with, I always say 100% just outsource it to a printer, especially when it comes to cards, because you're going to have to cut those as well. So I've done it before at home. I have a, those slicer things there you can measure everything up. And then I have that little corner, that rounded corner cutter, but it gets tedious and it kind of hurts my hands. I'm also very wimpy, so these are reasons why I would just outsource it to a printer. All right, so that was the list. How easy was that? We are all done with the 10 steps, and you now have your cards. Obviously, you need to design a box for your cards as well. So depending on who is doing the box, sometimes the print vendor will do them, and other times you'll need to find a card vendor, a box vendor, totally separate, and send them a design as well. Another cheap thing to think about, I shouldn't say cheap, a less expensive alternative is to buy plain boxes and then just make stickers that you can put on the front and the back and the inside or whatever you want. These ones from Rebecca Hamilton are really nice. They have a design wrapped all the way around, plus they have a design on the inside. The ones from, what is this called? Best Self. Same thing. They have, it's like two colors. They have a black and then they have a red. And then this here on the top has a separate color. Now the inside though is just a plain white, but these all fit together. If I can close it like that. So it looks really nice once you put it all together as one piece. So lots of things to think about, but let's go over that list again from the beginning really quick. Let's just do a quick recap. So the first one is what type of card are you going to have? The second one is what size. The third is what kind of shape, always rounded. The fourth is glossy or matte. The fifth is black and white or color, or are you going to have gold foiling? The sixth is how many cards will you actually put into the deck? The seventh is what is your guide, or will you have a how-to card? And then the eighth is your box, and the ninth is thinking about the design, finding that printer first, and all of those other considerations I mentioned. And the 10th is thinking about the thickness of your cards, and I gave you some measurements for that, and all of those measurements are in that cheat sheet that I left a link to below, as well as 2 printers that I really like and highly recommend. So hope that list was helpful. Super excited to see what kind of cards you guys create. And let me know below too if you would like me to create a card deck for those 3 files we talked about, your how-to guide, the back of the card, the front of the card. I just have never done that because I've always done planners and journals, but I'm happy to create a card deck if someone would find that useful. That's it. All right. Hope everyone's having a great start to their week, and I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Bye.